Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my channel IIQAS Islam in Quran in Assamese language. A'udhu billahi minas shaitanir rajim. Rabbi a'udhu bika min hamazati shayatin wa a'udhu bika rabbi ayyahdurun. আজি আমি উস্তাৰ সেকেন্ড পাৰ্টটো কবলৈ লৈছো। ইয়াৰ মাজতে বহুদিন গ্যাপ পৰিলে বিভিন্ন কাৰণে, কিন্তু আমি এই উস্তাৰ সেকেন্ড পাৰ্টটো আৰম্ভ কৰিছো। ইয়াৰ পিছত আৰু পাৰ্ট হ'ব। উস্তা মানে আমি এই উস্তাৰ সেকেন্ড পাৰ্টটো বুজিবৰ কাৰণে আপোনালোকে আগৰ উস্তাৰ পাৰ্ট 1টো চাই ল'ব লাগিব, নহলে বুজাত অসুবিধা হ'ব পাৰে। মই তলত লিংকটো দি দিম, আপোনালোকে চাব পাৰিব। আমি হেল্ল' এক মিনিট, হয় ফোন এটা আহি গৈছিলে। আমি পাৰ্ট 1টো চাই ল'লেহে আপোনালোকে পাৰ্ট 2টো বুজিব পাৰিব। মই তলত লিংক দি দিম বাৰু। কিন্তু আমি পাৰ্ট 1ৰ একেবাৰে লাষ্টত কৈছিলোঁ দিনত সালাত অৰ্থাৎ নামাজ নাই। তাৰ কাৰণে মই ৰেফাৰেন্স দিছোঁ, সেইটো আপোনালোকে চাগে মই আকৌ ৰিপিট নকৰোঁ বস্তুটো। কিন্তু ইয়াত এটা ডাঙৰ কোৱেশ্চন হয়, যদি দিনত সালাত বা নামাজ নাই তেনেহ'লে জুম্মা নামাজটোৰ কি হ'ব? আমিতো জুম্মা পঢ়ি থাকে, শুকুৰবাৰে জুম্মা নামাজ পঢ়ে, সেইটোতো দিনত পঢ়া নামাজ, সেইটোৰ বিষয়ে কি হ'ব? ইয়াৰ কাৰণে মই এটা স্পেচিয়েল এটা আপোনাৰ অডিঅ' আপোনালোকক শুনাই দিম। আপোনালোকে শুনিব, শুনি যদি নুবুজে তলত আপোনালোকে কুৱেশ্যন কৰিব, তাৰপিছত হ'ব। এইটো অকল এইটো পাৰ্টত অকল এইটো কথা জুম্মাৰ কথাই আহিব। কিন্তু জুম্মা সেই ভিডিঅ'টোত জুম্মাৰ কথাৰ লগে লগে আজানৰ বিষয়েও কৈছে। আজাননো কি, জুম্মানো কি, কিন্তু বুজিবৰ কাৰণে মই অকণমান আপোনালোক এটা চেঞ্চ দিছোঁ। আচলতে জুম্মা বুলি 62 চেপ্টাৰ 62 আপুনি জুম্মা বুলি এটা সূৰাই আছে, চেপ্টাৰে আছে, কিন্তু সেইটো জমা তাৰমানে গোট খোৱা জমা, সেইটো সালাত নাই। সালাতুল জুম্মা বুলি কোৰাণৰ ক'তোৱেই নাই। গতিকে মই কোৱাৰ আগতে আপোনালোকে সেইটো আপোনালোকে চালে বেছি সুবিধা হ'ব ইনশাআল্লাহ। ঘৰৰে মধুৰি ৰঙা চাহৰ লগত বঢ়িয়া। মই ভিডিঅ'টো আপোনালোকক শুনাই আছোঁ। বিসমিল্লাহিৰ ৰহমানিৰ ৰহিম। ৰাব্বিশ ৰাহলি সদৰি ওয়াসিৰলি আমৰি ওয়াহলুল উকদাতাম মিন লিসানি ইয়াফকাহু কাউলি ৰাব্বি জিদনি ইলমা। ভিডিঅ'টো হৈছে আপোনাৰ সৈয়দ আব্দুল্লাহি। আপোনালোকে শুনি লওক, এখেতে কি কয় আপোনালোকে শুনি লওক, ইনশাআল্লাহ বুজিব পাৰিব। নুবুজিলে তলত হেৰি কৰিব।
We move on to the next step. These people will tell you that Salatul Jummah. Why do they say Salatul Jummah? The only reason is because of chapter 62 verse 9. It says what? Ya ayyuhal lazina amanu iza nudiya lis-salat min yawmil jum'ati fas'au ila zikrillahi wa zarul bay' zalikum khayrun lakum in kuntum ta'lamun. Now, yes, you can pray at home. Moses alayhi salam, according to chapter 10 verse 87, was authorized to take his home as a place of prayer. It's not bad to pray at home. Prophet Zechariah did, according to chapter 3 verse 38 to 39. You can pray at home. It's nothing bad. Now, so let's go on what I mean. So they will give you chapter 62 verse 9, and then they say this is what it means Salatul Jummah. Let's analyze the verse. It has nothing to do with Salatul Jummah. Let's see. Ya ayyuhal lazina amanu, oh you who have believed. It's talking to believers. Then it says iza nudiya lis-salat. You see, the salat has adatul tarif. It's a definite salat. It's not Salatul Jummah. So it says iza nudiya, when called to the prayer. Then it says min yawmil jum'at. It didn't say when you are called to Salatul Jummah. Wallahi lazim, no scholar can show me one verse in the Quran where it says Salatul Jummah. You don't have it in the Quran. when you are called to the prayer, we all know what the prayer is. The three prayers God gave you. Salat al-Fajr, Salat al-Isha, Salat al-Wusta. When you are called to the prayer, it's a definite article, Adat al-Tarif. Min yawm al-Jum'at, that is from the day of congregation. That is what al-Jum'at. So check the meaning of al-Jum'at on the surah, the chapter. When you open chapter 62, check the name of the chapter. It says Surah al-Jum'at. It is the day of congregation. That congregation is the day of sale according to the time of Muhammad. So let's check the verse. Chapter 62, verse 9. You need to contemplate the verses of God. Don't let these ignorant scholars keep lying to you. They don't know anything. Wallahi. Good. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu iza nudiya lis-salat min yawmil jum'at fas'au ila zikrillahi wazarul bay'. You can see al-bay'. Al-bay'a. It is a definite day of sale. So now, when you are called to the prayer, when there is the day of congregation for the sale, he says what? Oh, you are believed. When called to the prayer from the day of congregation, then proceed to the remembrance of God. And what is the remembrance of God? The salat. According to chapter 20, verse 14, Innani ana la ilaha illa ana, fa'buduni wa aqimus salat li zikri. So the salat, that zikrillah you are going to do is a salat. So whenever you are at the sale front, on the day of congregation, there is a lot of people doing sale, and you are called to come and pray. Leave the sale and go and pray. Then the verse continues. Then he says, Zalikum khairul lakum in kuntum ta'lamun. That is better for you if you should know. Then when you continue to the verse, down there, it says, and when the prayer has been concluded, فَإِذَا قُضِيَتِ الصَّلَاةِ. You see, it didn't say فَإِذَا قُضِيَتِ الصَّلَاةِ الْجُمْعَةِ. No. فَإِذَا قُضِيَتِ الصَّلَاةِ. It can be any prayer. These three prayers given to you, it can be any prayer. The moment the prayer is concluded, then it says فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Then you can disperse, go back in the land. Then he says what? وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. Seek the favor of God. وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Then now you can go and do your own thing. Go back after the prayer is done. Get up and go. You understand? So now, these scholars will tell you that is Salat al-Jum'ah, Yawm al-Jum'ah. It doesn't mean like that. This nudiya, the word nudiya, you can find it in the Quran. God used it to call Moses. It doesn't mean God is shouting, hey Musa, where are you? No. Go to chapter 20, verse 11. God called Moses. It doesn't mean he shouted to call somebody. Go to chapter 27, verse 8. Nudiya is there. Go to chapter 28, verse 30. Nudiya is there. So, according to the Quran, when you are calling people to come and pray with you, people will mock you because you are not doing it like the way the hadith told them to do. Right? So, if you go to chapter 5, verse 58, Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter 5, verse 58, it says, وَإِذَا نَادَيْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ اتَّخَذُوهَا هُزُوًا وَلَعِبًا. And when you call to the prayer, when you call to the prayer, they take it as a joke and amusement. Right? So in terms of if I have to call somebody to come and pray with me, let's say it's a day of like congregation, the day of sale, and then you go and say, hey, this is a call. I don't need to say Allahu Akbar. God never gave you. I showed you the evidence. God never gave you any azan in the Quran. Wallahi lazim. Let any scholar come and show us this. You can call people, and this modern world, you don't need to shout. You can set time. If you have an appointment with a doctor, you have an appointment with the police, you have an appointment with the banker, you have an appointment with the lawyer. Must the lawyer take the mic to shout before you come? We are in an advanced world. You need time. If I give you 3 o'clock, our prayer start, do I have to shout to call you? Yaushe kuma sallan da zaka je kai ma Allah ya zama abin damun mutane. Now, so we continue. So we can see chapter 62 verse 9. It further explains to you when you are called to the salat for the zikr of Allah. Now, according to chapter 62 verse 9, if the scholars are telling you it's talking about salat al-Jum'ah, now ask them this question. It is said in that chapter, Iza nudiya lis-salat min yawm al-Jum'ah. So according to your hadith, you have 5 prayers in a day. So now God is saying if you are called to the prayer from the day of congregation, so which of the prayers? Which one? Is it Salat al-Fajr Or is it your Salat al-Zuhr? Or is it your Salat al-Asr? Or Salat, which one do I have to leave my cell to go? Which one? So are you trying to tell me only your Salat al-Jum'ah, you can leave your staff to go and pray, but the other prayers, you cannot do that. You can keep doing your business. Is that what you guys are trying to tell us? God is simply telling you about the normal Salat he gave you in the Quran, which is a Salat al-Fajr, Salat al-Isha, and Salat al-Wusta. That is when he told you whenever there's a congregation, the day of sale, Yawm al-Jum'ah, you leave the sale when you are called to come and pray. Just leave the sale you are doing, because remember, the Yawm al-Jum'ah is the day of congregation. There is a sale going on. This is why he says, Fazarul bay, leave the sale. You leave it. That's why he said the sale is a day of the selling. That's why there's a congregation, right? The sales are going on. People are buying stuff, exchanging stuff. So now he told you when the prayer is done, then go back and do your own thing. Then verse 11 says what? وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً أَوْ لَهْوًا وَانْفَدُوا إِلَيْهَا وَتَرَكُوكَ قَائِمًا. When they see any business or an entertainment, they leave Muhammad alayhi salam, they leave him standing. Because their entertainment and business is more important for them. You get it? They rush to it and left you standing. Then God says what? قُلْ مَا إِنَّ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ مِنَ اللَّهْوِ وَمِنَ التِّجَارِ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. Say what is with God is better than the entertainment and the business. Because Yawm al-Jum'at is the day of sale. This is why they don't want to take their attention away from the sales. It is not a public holiday. Like the so-called hadith will tell you, oh, it is our Sabbath day. It is our Yawm al-Sabt. That is a lie. God never gave you that as your Sabt or your Sabbath day or whatever. Well, I don't know where they get it. They got those lies from. The Yawm al-Sabt was only given to the children of Israel. It was only given to the children of Israel. According to chapter 16, verse 124. If you go to chapter 4, verse 153 to 154, you will see it clearly that the day of Sabt, Yawm al-Sabt, was only given to the children of Israel by God. Friday is not your Yawm al-Sabt. Friday is not your Yawm al-Sabt. And when you check the days, ask the Arabs, how do they count their days of the week? They will say Sunday is Yawm al-Ahad, Yawm al-Thani, Yawm al-Thalatha, Yawm al-Arba, Yawm al-Khamsa. Ask them, where is Yawm al-Sit? They don't have it, and they change it to make Yawm al-Jum'ah. There is nothing like that. It's Yawm al-Sit. Yawm al-Jum'ah means the day of congregation. That is the day of their gathering, to do their business, their sale. So the verse further explains that to you. So when Muhammad calls them to come and pray with him, when they are praying, and they see their sale and business and their tijara going on, they leave him standing. And then they go back and do their sales and entertainment. This is what it means. It never means Salat al-Jum'ah. There is no one verse in the Quran which says Salat al-Jum'ah. Wallahi lazim.
আপোনালোকে বুজিলে নিশ্চয় সালাতুল জুম্মা বুলি কোনো সালাত নাই এইবোৰ সব সেকেন্ডাৰী সোৰ্সৰ বস্তু এইবোৰ যেতিয়ালৈকে নেৰে আল্লাহৰ কোনো কালামেই কৰা নহব গতিকে এইবোৰ চাবলৈ আমি নেক্সট হেৰিত ইয়াৰ উস্তাৰ বাকি পাৰ্টটো আমি আৰম্ভ কৰিম আপোনালোকে সাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰিব যদি ভাল পায় লাইক কৰিব এতিয়া হয়তো মানুহে নাচায় এটা সময়ত মোৰ এইবিলাক মই কুৰানৰ কথাই কৈছো আৰু ইয়াক কোনোবাই চ্যালেঞ্জ কৰিব পৰাও কোনো মানুহ নোলাব কাৰণ কুৰানৰ আয়াত দিয়া হৈছো আৰু আপোনালোকৰ ধৰক যদি ইয়াত কিবা ধৰক এইটো কুৰানৰ এইটো নহয় এইটোহে হ'ব লাগিছিলে বা কি কথা তেনকা আপোনালোকে তলত আছে আপুনি কোৱেশ্চন কৰিব পাৰিব তাৰ চাব যদি কিবা ভুল হৈছে তেন ঠিক কৰা যাব আৰু কিন্তু সেকেন্ডাৰী সোৰ্স মানে হাদিস মছলা ফিকা যত যি কয় কুৰানৰ বাহিৰত এইবিলাক ইছলামত নাই সেইকাৰণে মোৰ নামটো ইছলাম ইন কুৰান ইছলামটো অকল কুৰানৰ মাজতে আছে ইনশাআল্লাহ আমি নেক্সটটো কৰিম দোয়া কৰিব আপোনালোক সকলো ভালে থাকক হেয়